Right now, while you watch this, your money is disappearing. Not stolen, not spent, just gone. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. Here's where it started.
In 1913, a dollar bought you a full meal. Bread, meat, a cup of coffee, change left over. Today, that same dollar won't buy you the napkin. Nobody stole that money. No one broke into your house and took it. It just vanished. Quietly. Over 100 years in plain sight while everyone was told the economy was growing. Here's the uncomfortable part. It's still happening. Right now. While you watch this video, the money in your pocket is worth a little less than it was yesterday. Not because you spent it, because it was designed to lose value. Stick with me because once you see how this machine actually works, you'll never look at a price tag the same way again. Let's ground this in the present because inflation isn't some abstract chart from an economics textbook anymore. It's personal. As of this year, prices are climbing again and not gently. The cost of everyday food is up. Gasoline has jumped by nearly a third compared to last year. Even when you strip out food and energy, the two things every household actually needs, prices are still rising faster than what's considered healthy. That means the number on the receipt isn't the story. The story is what that number represents. Your labor, your hours, your time, buying less than it did 12 months ago. And here's the twist most people miss. This isn't a malfunction of the economy, it's a feature. So let's break it down slowly, the way nobody bothered to explain it to you the first time. Imagine a birthday party. 1 pizza, 8 kids, everyone gets a slice. Fair enough. Now imagine the parent trying to be generous cuts that same pizza into 16 slices instead of 8, because now 16 kids showed up. Same pizza, same size. But now every slice is half as big. That's inflation in one sentence. The pizza is the total wealth and goods in an economy. The slices are dollars. When more dollars get created without more pizza being made, every single slice, every dollar you own gets smaller. Here's where it gets real. In the United States, the pizza doesn't get cut by a parent at a party. It gets cut by a small group of decision makers at the Federal Reserve sitting in a room, deciding how many new slices, new dollars to bring into existence. They don't print cash in a basement anymore. It's mostly digital, a number typed into a system. Money created not by mining gold or growing crops, but by simply expanding a database. And when that happens gradually, most people don't notice. Prices creep up a little each year. Wages creep up a little too, usually slower. The gap between the two is where the damage lives. Now here's the part that should genuinely bother you. Inflation isn't just a side effect of the system. For decades, it's been a target, not zero inflation, not stable prices, a deliberate goal of roughly 2% inflation every single year. Ask yourself why a government would ever aim for your money to lose value on purpose. The answer isn't complicated once you follow the money, literally. Governments borrow enormous amounts. The United States currently carries a debt load in the tens of trillions, debt that has to be paid back eventually in dollars. If those dollars are worth a little less every year, the debt effectively shrinks in real terms. It's like paying back an old loan using slightly smaller and smaller pizza slices. Mild inflation quietly makes debt easier to manage. It also nudges people to spend rather than sit on their cash because money sitting still is money quietly losing value. Spending keeps the economic engine running. So the system isn't broken, it's tilted. Just enough that most people never feel the tilt directly, they only feel its result. A grocery bill that's mysteriously 20% higher than it was 3 years ago and a paycheck that never quite caught up. Here's where the story that gets told publicly starts to crack. The headlines love to frame inflation numbers as good news when they're cooling. A monthly report drops, financial anchors smile. Inflation slowing becomes the takeaway. But slowing inflation doesn't mean prices are falling. It means prices are still rising, just a little less aggressively than before. Your grocery bill isn't going back down, it's just going up slightly slower than last month. Imagine being told the water level in your basement is rising more slowly now. Technically true, still flooding. That's the quiet absurdity at the center of modern economic messaging. Progress is redefined as less bad, and most people accept it because nobody stopped to ask the obvious question: why are we celebrating a smaller increase instead of demanding an actual decrease? Meanwhile, the real economy tells a rougher story. Household debt has climbed past $18 trillion. Credit card balances remain historically high. Millions of student loan borrowers who were current on their payments before the pandemic are now falling into default, some watching their credit scores drop by nearly 100 points in a matter of months. None of that happens in a healthy, low-friction economy. It happens when incomes quietly fall behind the true cost of living year after year until the gap becomes impossible to ignore. Now zoom out further, because this isn't just a domestic story. Inflation doesn't stay contained inside one country's borders. Trade policy, tariffs, global supply chains, they all feed back into the price of the goods sitting on your shelf. Right now, new tariff pressures are being placed on dozens of countries, adjusting the cost of imported goods before they even reach an American store. Every tariff is, in effect, a tax, quietly folded into the price tag, invisible on the receipt, but very visible in your total. At the same time, interest rate decisions from central bank leadership ripple through mortgages, car loans, and credit card interest, reshaping how expensive it is to borrow money at all. A single policy meeting, held behind closed doors, can shift the financial reality of tens of millions of households who weren't even aware the meeting happened. This is the part that should sit uncomfortably with you. The forces shaping your daily cost of living are largely invisible, mostly technical, and almost never explained in plain language. Not because it's too complicated to explain, but because a confused public rarely asks hard questions. Let's do one final piece of simple math, because numbers cut through noise better than opinions. If prices rise at roughly 3 to 4% a year, which is close to where things sit right now, then in 20 years, something that costs you $100 today will cost somewhere close to $200. Not because the product changed, because the measuring stick did. Your salary would need to roughly double in that same window just to maintain the exact same lifestyle you have today. Not to get ahead, just to stay in place. That's the quiet, compounding nature of inflation. It doesn't announce itself with a single dramatic headline. It erodes slowly enough that each individual year feels manageable, while the 20-year total quietly reshapes what an ordinary life costs. So here's where it leaves us. Inflation isn't a natural disaster. It isn't random weather in the economy. It's a designed mechanism aimed at a specific target, defended as necessary, and largely misunderstood by the very people paying its cost every single day at the checkout line. The pizza keeps getting cut into more slices. The people slicing it keep telling you this is normal, even healthy. Maybe it is. Maybe a system without any inflation would freeze the economy in place, discourage investment, and create its own set of problems. Or maybe we've simply gotten used to accepting a little theft each year, so gradual, so well explained, that it stopped feeling like theft at all. Either way, the next time you stand in a grocery store aisle staring at a price that seems higher than it should be, you'll know the truth. It's not just the store. It's not just supply chains. It's a slice of pizza, cut a little thinner, 1 year at a time. The only real question left is this: at what point does a slice get so thin people stop believing it's still pizza at all?